Welcome to Library Out Loud, a conversation about any and all things related to the Spokane County Library District. Library Out Loud is brought to you by the Spokane County Library District and our friends at STCU. Now, here's your host, Jane Baker.
Hello and welcome to Library Out Loud. I'm Jane Baker, the Communication and Development Director for the Spokane County Library District. Joining me today is Amber Williams. Hello, Amber.
Good morning.
And you have a great title.
It's a mouthful.
It is.
Managing Librarian of Strategic Initiatives for Spokane County Library District.
Awesome.
Not a good acronym.
That's okay. Sometimes we don't need all the acronyms. I'm going to catch you off guard a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, this is a relatively new position, and I would say there are definitely some ambiguous lines to it that are still being defined, but it basically works out to be a project manager for identified strategic initiatives. So we hear from our community what they want, we identify it as a strategic priority, and it falls to me to get it off the ground and running.
Great position, a great thing to do, a lot of fun to work with the community and help fill those needs that they do, that we do as a library. So great job.
Thank you.
And today here we're talking about something that you've been working on for a while. It's not new. Well, parts of it are, but we'll get to that. We're going to talk about the Poetry Slam.
Yes.
This is something that you were instrumental in getting started up on the north end of the county, and it's been successful and it's continuing and it's growing. So I'm excited to talk about that today. So we started at Deer Park, using the Deer Park Library, which is, I believe, the library you're based in.
It's my community library, yes.
Yes. And you've done fabulous work up there in the
Thank
community. And you've worked with the high school students and started a poetry slam. Tell me how this all got going.
All right, so we've got to go back a few years.
Okay.
And Riverside High School has a fabulous in-house program that's called the Ram Slam. They are the Riverside Rams, and it's so convenient that it rhymes. Lucky them. And their Ram Slam was started by a teacher there, Sheila Bessick, who is from Chicago, which is the birthplace of slam poetry.
Really?
And she brought her passion for it with her to, Spokane County. And as a teacher at Riverside, she and other staff started the Ram Slam, and it has grown so much over the years that it's now a dedicated day in the school year where students, all grades, compete in their classes to get a spot on the stage during an all-day Ram Slam.
Wow.
And 4 years ago, I judged my first Ram Slam. As the Deer Park Community Librarian, I do a lot of stuff with the school already. They knew me and said, hey, will you come and do this? And I had no idea what I was getting into. I am a child of the 90s. I know what slam poetry is. I know about snapping my fingers. But it was, you hear about decision fatigue. Judging fatigue is a real thing.
Sure.
72 performances over 5 hours.
Wow.
Yes. And so what these students then are competing for is each hour the top 3 students would be invited back they would do an evening program and invite parents and families to come watch the kids compete again. And you won the Ram Slam by winning twice, essentially. And it was in this sort of sidebar conversation between me and staff about how they would really like an opportunity to compete against other schools. And, it's not like a light bulb goes off. It's just sort of common sense. If a community librarian, I work with other schools.
Sure.
And said, I'd be happy to help make that happen. I approached Deer Park, and they were very new to the slam idea, but said, yeah, we'd love to give it a try, and actually approached Newport. And so our first Northern Slam in 2016 had students from Riverside, Deer Park, and Newport competing. And it's just, the ball has been rolling since.
Rolling from there. That's great, making those connections. For someone who is not sure, who might be listening today, what is slam poetry?
Okay. So I know this not as a competitor and not as a writer, as somebody who is judgmental.
Okay.
But slam poetry is competitive poetry. It has to be a piece of original work. It is performed without costume, without props. It is just you and the mic.
Wow.
And, I mean, there are limitations. It needs to be shorter than 3 minutes. It needs to be longer than 1 minute. And you are immediately judged by a panel of 5. It's on a 10-point scale, and you drop the high score and you drop the low score. So out of 30 points, you have a score immediately. Traditionally, slam poetry is judged by people randomly picked from the audience.
Okay.
Given that the audience at our slams are families and friends, and they may, I know it's hard to believe, carry bias. So I recruit judges from outside of the area who are involved in either the Spokane slam scene or are poets themselves. We've had, the Washington State Poet Laureate Todd Marshall. We've had Spokane's poet laureates as judges. We've had slam poets who have competed on international teams. I mean, Spokane is a pretty thriving poetry scene, as in the city of Spokane. And so this was a way to kind of bring those experiences out of the city center and into the larger community.
To the other schools. So what kind of criteria is there for judging?
We actually provide a matrix.
Really?
Because, the idea is hard. There's sort of this balance between that was a really great performance but I don't like your message because I don't agree with it.
Okay.
And you got to, walk that fine line of I can't judge you poorly just because I don't like what you said, even though what you said was so well done. So we provide a matrix to kind of help separate those things.
Sure.
5 points based on your performance. Is it memorized? Are you getting through? Are you enunciating? Are you emoting? And then 5 points on how original is your work? How is the poem, not built, but
constructed.
Sure, great word. Better than the one I came up with. Yes. And, just kind of having those parameters and having that baseline of an idea of how to judge helps people who, while they might be poets, might not necessarily be slam poets.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that balance.
And as I recall, some of these poems are very vulnerable. They're very honest. They're not roses are red, violets are blue type poems. But
No.
These students are getting up there, just them and that microphone, and really bearing their souls with some of these poems.
All right. So the very first time I judged the slam, I got nervous for some of the students because of the things that they were sharing. And, I'm flashing back to like every high school movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
And my own high school experiences and whatnot about just how are they going to come to school on Monday?
Wow.
Now that all of their peers know this about them.
Wow.
And I brought it up with the teaching staff, and they were just sort of like, no, that's not an issue. That's never an issue. Like the whole purpose of slam poetry is it's a safe place for poets.
Okay.
And it is a supportive place for poets. The people that you boo are the judges. Like the audience is all there in support of the poets.
Wow.
And I still not a poet, still not going to get up on stage and share poetry, but I can say that that is definitely what I love most about slam poetry, is just that welcoming acceptance and support that the audience provides.
Wow, great experience for these students.
Yes.
And therapeutic?
We had comments from Deer Park staff after the first slam and how, because it was new to their students and it was, I think, harder because they didn't have that experience having had it in school and knowing that it's going to be okay the next day of school, that there was, some people were more hesitant. And the ones that did share really intimate stories about their relationships with their parents, on a stage in front of 160 people.
Yeah.
They were worried. And I heard from Deer Park staff, though, that it was this fabulously healing thing and that they were able to share and be heard, and it was receptive. And so I
Wow.
can't say there's, yeah.
Wow. I'm very impressed. I got goosebumps just
Me too.
listening
That's
to you talk about that.
And that's why we keep doing it, Jane. And that's why we're growing it.
That's great. Well, we're going to talk more about that too. But let's see, we're on our third annual Northern
Yes,
Slam.
Third annual.
And that is coming up at the Ken Fisher Auditorium, which is at the Deer Park High School on Thursday, April 12th, 6:30 to 8:30
Yes.
p.m. And the public is welcome to come watch.
Hopefully they will. Yeah.
Okay. So we have the poets, and they bring their family and their friends and support from the school, but also the public can come and see the talent and wonderful things happening at the high school. And yes, growing the slam. It's one at the Northern Slam, but now we're bringing it to the Valley.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here in a moment, and then we're going to come back and talk about the Valley Slam and how people can go and hear more about slam poetry in the Valley. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on Library Out Loud.
Is your child having trouble coping with a personal disability, but don't know where to go? Consider our friends at Breakthrough Incorporated. Breakthrough takes great pride in mentoring their DDA clients who have intellectual disabilities and their BRS clients who have challenging behaviors toward the creation of safe, appropriate, ethically sound life goals. They integrate programs at school and home to enrich their lives. They work hard to make a positive difference in you and your family's lives. Breakthrough provides a highly structured, fully staffed residential setting in local neighborhoods. 6 in Spokane and 2 in the Tri-Cities. Diagnoses affect people differently, so their service to each resident is unique, giving them the opportunity to grow and evolve. For more information on Breakthrough, visit their website at breakthroughincorporated.org.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
And welcome back to Library Out Loud. I'm Jane Baker with Spokane County Library District, and with me today is Amber Williams, also with the district, and we're talking about poetry slams. Very cool, very popular in the city, and you're helping grow it into the community. Let's talk more about that. We were talking about the Northern Slam. It'll be the 3rd annual Northern Slam on April 12th, and now we're moving into the Valley. How did this happen?
We film the Poetry Slam. Let's start there. So we filmed the Northern Slam, and this past summer we hosted teen interns in the studio at the Spokane Valley Library. And we had fabulous teen interns, and the person who was there interning when Sarah Rooney, our studio tech, was editing the slam footage, made a comment about how her school, University High, would love to do something like this. Her friends are poets, and they're, they have to go downtown, and sure, there's great fun in going to Broken Mike and going to the Bartlett and those kinds of things, but, they have to go pretty far to participate. And it's just one of those, well, tell me who I should be talking to, because I'd be happy to start that conversation with them. And so when she was back at school in the fall, she put me in touch with one of her English teachers, and who then also put me in touch with the librarian there. And It's going.
And voila, there we go.
University High will be hosting the first, hopefully annual, Valley Slam at their school on April 12th. It's April 13th, excuse me, the next day.
Okay.
And participants will be from University High, Central Valley High School, and Micah Peak High School.
Awesome. That's great.
Yes.
And again, the public's welcome to come
Yes.
and see that. Let's talk a little bit about this for the students. How first of all, to get going on this, there was a sponsorship,
Oh, yes.
and both the Northern Slam and the Valley Slam are sponsored by Friends of the Library groups, North Spokane with the Deer Park Library, and the Spokane Valley Friends
Yes.
for the Valley Slam. And what does the sponsorship include?
So if you, once upon a time when I asked the Deer Park Friends about it, and their stance on everything is, well, what could we do that's more? I was like, well, we like to offer our judges an honorarium because I recognize it's kind of far away, and we hire an MC, and even better, we give cash prizes to first, second, and third place in the form of $50, $100, and $150.
Wow.
And on top of that, recognizing the effort that students have put into this to even get there, to then get on stage and share, the Friends also buy every participant who's getting up on stage a T-shirt, which is another partnership in this, because the T-shirts are different each year that we've done it, and they're designed in a competition by students from the Visual Communication Design program in the Department of Engineering and Design at Eastern Washington University, and I can't believe I got that right. But this year's poster and T-shirt were designed by Melanie Murphy, and for Deer Park, and they're Pacific Northwest themed. And I have not actually seen the Valley Slam designs yet. We get to judge those next week.
The one that is for the Northern Slam, we were just talking about it. It's beautiful, to the point where I had to ask you if they're available for sale if you're not a participant. And you said they are.
They are, yes.
So that's great. So how you'd be able to get one if you went to the event? Perhaps,
we
or
do pre-orders on them.
Gotcha.
Yes, because we actually, in a way to support who we're working with, Riverside's print department is who does our printing for our T-shirts.
So it's high school kids that are doing the printing as
Yes.
well. This is fabulous program. This is fabulous. Bringing together all kinds of students who are up and coming in their chosen fields, and as well as the poetry, and just growing the community that way. It's great experience for everyone. So it's free to come and watch. And then, so the Valley Slam at University High School, and it starts at 6:30 on Friday, April 13th.
Yes.
And it's definitely worth going to check out. What more can we talk about with the...
Well, timing, actually.
Okay.
So, going back to why Riverside started their Ram Slam, and why we time the Northern Slam and why we time the Valley Slam when we have, is actually to encourage students to have given them this experience and encourage them to then go on stage for the Get Lit Teen Slam, which happens each year during the week of Get Lit.
Sure.
And the last 2 years that we've had the Northern Slam, in 2016, the winner of the Northern Slam also won the Teen Get Lit Slam, and the second place winner of the 2017 Northern Slam won the Teen Get Lit Slam. So, I'm just saying, it's good experience.
It is, yeah. Great way to get the kids into the Get Lit, which is an Eastern Washington University program, and that happens every year in April. So our slams have always happened March and April to get ready for that. Perfect timing, and what a great way to grow that into Get Lit from there. I'm tempted to ask, and I'm not going to do this to you, but maybe I should. I was going to say, did you bring any of the poems with you? Do you have the ability to do that kind of?
They're filmed.
Uh-huh.
And so they're available on SCLD's YouTube channel.
They are?
Yes. So the second annual Northern Slam is all up there.
Mm-hmm.
It has also been available on Community Minded Television's Public Access Channel 14.
Channel 14.
They also have that footage and play it occasionally.
This might be a good time to mention a little bit of that. We're going to sidetrack a little bit about Community Minded.
Mm-hmm.
We do work for them. We provide an hour of programming monthly.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit? I'm not sure everyone's aware of that.
We submit 60 minutes minimum. There's really no max that I've been told of footage, and it consists of library programs that we have filmed and footage provided by our customers who are either using the studio filming equipment or they're using their own equipment, and they submit it to the library, and sometimes we can and sometimes we can't include it.
Sure.
But we submit it to CMTV for public broadcast each month.
And that's been going on for a while. So people can tune in, say if they had an interest in a program that was filmed that they couldn't attend, or they, for whatever reason, they can tune in and watch it there. And then once a program is submitted and is on for a month, does it remain on or does it go away and a new one come on?
We give footage every month, and CMTV decides how often to use what we've given them.
Gotcha.
So they don't, it isn't you can only use this 1 month, this one time. They're welcome to continue to use our footage as they need to.
Sure. And well, most of it isn't dated anyway, so
Yes.
it's good information that way. And it is through that program that we have going on with CMT that the studio came about at Spokane Valley. There's some exciting things going on there, and it's becoming more and more busy in the studio, which is great. And I know you oversee that. And again, I'm taking you on a sidetrack here. Sorry. Talk a little bit about what's going on at the studio and where you're headed with it this summer.
Well, the studio hosts equipment that was purchased with PEG funds approved by the Spokane Valley City Council for CMTV to buy us professional grade filming equipment. And so professional, there aren't actually tutorials on how to use it, because why on earth would you buy this camera if you didn't know how to use one? So we've had quite the learning curve. We're getting way better, though, all the time. And this summer, we're excited to be hosting one of the most successful things we've done at the studio as library programs go is providing access for youth. Both fourth grade and up and high school and up programs have so consistently filled up that we've had to extend the wait list so we could get names and contact of people who are interested, so we could schedule a second, a third, and a fourth program to get everyone who signed up who wanted to.
Sure.
And so these look like, we have 4 hours, and every kid who comes in is going to use every piece of equipment, and they're going to rotate through different crew positions. They're going to do their scripts, and they're going to do their storyboards, and we provide guidance in regards to, here's the structure, and they are focused. This group is going to do a news program, and this group is going to do a variety show. And this group, we have one coming up this summer for teens, for high schoolers and up, around help us make a commercial. So those are the things that are happening this summer there.
And it's more than just cameras. There's lights, a green screen.
And we've introduced photography cameras. I can't say just cameras because that's so unclear. Nikon D3400 DSLR cameras.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. What a great resource for the community to be able to come in and get that experience. Not just the community, especially for the kids, to say, hey, maybe I'm interested in this. Maybe this is a career I want to go into, but I want to know a little bit more about it. They can actually get in there hands-on. You let them experiment and grow and create. Yeah, fabulous work.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for all that you do. And let's wrap this up here soon with, once again, the Northern Slam, 3rd Annual Northern Slam. Yes. Let's go back to that. Ken Fisher Auditorium at Deer Park High School, Thursday, April 12th, 6:30 to 8:30. And in the Valley, first time, University High School, on Friday, April 13th, also 6:30 to 8:30. No charge to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in.
Come support the poets and boo the judges.
There you go. It sounds like a good time.
Yes.
Well, Amber, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and talking about the slams today. And thank you for your work you do for the library district and in the community. Great stuff that you're doing. Keep it up, and can't wait to have you back on the program again.
All right.
All right. Thank you. And until next time, this has been Library Out Loud.
Library Out Loud is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Ask a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Library Out Loud is brought to you by the Spokane County Library District and STCU. Go visit and explore your local library today.